The roar of Formula One engines echoed through the paddock, a symphony of speed and ambition. Yet for Sergio "Checo" Pérez, it was the sound of a battle he fought alone. For years, he had been at the heart of Red Bull Racing's success, the unseen architect of their rise to dominance. But beneath the glitz and glamour of the sport lay an undeniable truth. Formula One was not just a competition of speed, but a battlefield of politics, perception, and power. Max Verstappen, the prodigious talent, had ascended to greatness with Red Bull, securing world titles with a dominance unseen since Ayrton Senna's golden era. Yet behind the carefully curated narrative of Verstappen's brilliance, questions lingered. Could Max's championships truly hold the same weight as Senna's when the playing field within Red Bull was far from level? In the garage, the disparity was glaring. Red Bull's leadership, Christian Horner and Helmut Marko, had often been accused of favouring Verstappen. The Dutch driver received the latest upgrades, the strategic priorities, and the unwavering backing of a team determined to make him the face of Formula One. The question whispered in the paddock and among fans was as bold as it was controversial. Was Verstappen's dominance genuine, or was it engineered? Verstappen's skill was undeniable, but his supremacy was never truly tested within his team. A champion is defined not only by their victories, but by their battles. And without equal footing for Pérez, the legitimacy of Verstappen's legacy faced scrutiny. For Checo, the struggle ran deeper than just technical disadvantages. Being a Latin driver in a predominantly European-dominated sport added another layer of complexity. The media, particularly in Europe, often portrayed him as a secondary player, a driver who should be grateful to have a seat rather than one who had earned his place through relentless grit and undeniable talent. Red Bull, a team with a global brand, seemed blind to the symbolism of Pérez's fight. For millions across the Americas, Checo was more than just a driver. He was a beacon of hope, a reminder that perseverance could triumph over prejudice. Yet even with an entire continent rallying behind him, the lack of internal support from his team often left him fighting with one hand tied behind his back. The 2024 season became a defining moment. The whispers of Pérez's replacement grew louder, the media's knives sharper. In Mexico City, as thousands chanted his name in defiance of the criticism, Checo's retirement from his home Grand Prix following an early collision became symbolic. It wasn't just his car that had crashed. It felt as though his standing within the team had as well. Helmut Marko's dismissive remarks and Christian Horner's tepid endorsements only added to the despair. Pérez, the driver who had delivered vital points and played the team game to perfection, was being cast aside as if he were disposable. The inequality in treatment was palpable, and the contrast with Verstappen's unchallenged status made it impossible to ignore. For Pérez, the pain of being undervalued was matched only by his unyielding determination. The easier path would have been to walk away, to let the narratives and favoritism dictate his story. But Checo, the fighter from Guadalajara, refused to bow. His spirit was unbreakable, and his fans across the Americas became his armor. As the sport debated the worthiness of Verstappen's championships, Pérez's resilience became a story of its own. He wasn't just fighting for himself, but for every driver who had been overlooked, every dreamer told they weren't enough. For Checo, the race wasn't just about the checkered flag, it was about proving that integrity and grit could triumph over politics and favoritism. For Sergio Pérez, the fight continues, fueled by the unwavering support of millions and a heart that refuses to quit. And in that fight, he has already become a champion, one not defined by a car or a team, but by the unrelenting will to never give up.